Hello, this is Alex from Lincoln Park Library, and today's How To Tuesday is how to make Irish soda bread. So your first step will be gathering your ingredients. So first you will need 4 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll need 4 tablespoons of white sugar, half a cup of margarine softened, 1 teaspoon of both baking soda and baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of buttermilk, and 1 egg. And then for the brush that you're going to use toward the end, you'll also need a 4th cup of butter melted mixed with a 4th cup of buttermilk. So for step 1, you want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. So of course, do that first. And then secondly, you'll want to lightly grease a large baking sheet as seen here below. So once you've done those 2 parts of step 1, step 2 is mixing everything together. So you'll want to mix first your flour, softened margarine, your sugar, your baking soda and baking powder, as well as your salt together in a large bowl. So once those are all mixed, then you will stir in your 1 cup of buttermilk and your egg. You can also at this stage add things like currants, raisins, orange peels, allspice. You could do dried cranberries, any of those. I personally don't really like any of those in my breads or anything, so I just did a plain Irish soda bread. So once you add all those in, if that's what you want, you will turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface, as you can see down here in the bottom left photo. And then you'll want to knead it slightly, maybe for like 15-ish seconds, 20 seconds, so knead it a little bit. And then you'll want to form your dough into a round, which you can see here on the bottom right. And then you'll place that round onto the prepared baking sheet. That's when you'll move on to step 3. So for step 3, this is like your egg wash that you're going to put on the top. So you will combine your melted butter with your 1/4 cup of buttermilk in a small bowl, as you can see up here. And then that mixture you are going to use to brush the loaf with. So I brushed the loaf, and then you want to score your bread. So I did an X score. You can do this however you want, but I used a sharp knife and then I just cut an X into the top of the loaf. Also for this mixture, you can also continue using it throughout the baking process. I think I put it on a total of 3 times while the bread was baking in the oven as well. And then for step 4, you want to then put your bread into your preheated oven, and you want to bake it until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean. So this is about 45 to 50 minutes, but check for doneness starting at like 30 minutes, maybe in like 5-minute intervals, just to see, because depending on their oven, how big your loaf is, everything like that, it's really going to depend. Like I said before, optional, you can continue brushing butter and buttermilk mixture as it bakes, but that's up to you. But I think it adds like a really nice sheen to it and helps it become more golden brown on the top, because this is a pretty light soda bread. So what I actually did for this recipe, you can tell that my loaf of bread is kind of small. I actually halved this recipe just because I was trying it. I also used gluten-free 1-to-1 flour, as I usually do with my recipes. So the time frame of when it was done, I would say it took about maybe like 40 minutes still for my bread to be completely cooked. So it was still, even though I have the recipe, it was still about 40 minutes based on my oven. And you can see here on the right, this is what mine looked like. I think I went a little too deep with the scoring, so it really split apart, although I think it looks nice. But if you don't like that kind of look, don't go as deep with your slicing when you do your scoring. So this is just a little page of optional ingredients that you can include. I found these all online that different people have used. So typically people use currants, raisins, orange peels, dried cranberries or craisins as I call them, dried figs. You can also use like different types of toasted nuts. Walnuts seem to be the most popular with this recipe. And then some people also use allspice. I saw that there were also some people that did like fruity Irish soda bread, so they actually use a combination of a lot of these. So they did a whole bunch of different dried fruits within the soda bread, which I thought looked interesting along with allspice. So it kind of made it more like of a sweeter, tangier bread than I think the one that I made, which was very plain and very much like a traditional Irish soda bread minus the raisins because I hate raisins. But feel free to include any of these optional ingredients that you want. You can make it like a more fruit-based bread, or if you want to stay traditional and just do this recipe with raisins or without, that's totally up to you. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that you make some great Irish soda bread for your family and friends this St. Patrick's Day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.